So I got my man here on the Sunday School series. Got the head varsity basketball coach at Lansing Sexton, the J Dubs. What do you go by, man? Because everyone knows you as Skeet. So what's the kids call you?
Skeet cool, because when my mom said Delion back in the day, I knew I was in trouble. So we'll go with
Yeah,
Skeet.
I hear you, man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, for coming on, man, taking time to, chop it up with me. And, the whole purpose of this Sunday school, man, is really to help get some valuable insight to players, parents, and you're the first coach that I've had on here. So you need some valuable insight to current coaches, assistant coaches, aspiring coaches, things of that nature, man. So definitely, appreciate you coming on. Great season. Congratulations. Conference
Appreciate it.
champs, undefeated in
Yep.
the conference, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I mean, you guys, definitely have turned, everything around, the whole energy, the culture, the optimism, the future is, looking super bright. So what was one of the first things when you got the job, which was in the fall, right? Yeah, it was during football season.
Yep.
Right after.
It was like they gave it to me. I got the job like what 6 days before the season started.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yep. So
Yep.
what was your mindset going into it? What was like one of the first things you did once you either, got the final, stamp as the coach, or what were you
hmm
previously to you're like, all right, this is what I gotta get done ASAP.
My biggest thing is being 34, going through a lot. I didn't stress the situation because I'm like, the man above, he always gonna put you where you need to be. So if
Mhm.
I got the job, okay, cool. If I didn't get the job, okay, cool. But the fact that I did get it, I just said it's time to get to work and get the grind. And then my biggest thing was letting the kids know that we are family first. So if you want to be outside this family tree, you don't want to be, be down or do what you got to do, then you can't be a part of this. Because that was the biggest thing. Because I knew if I can get the kids to buy in with each other, I knew
Mhm.
we could have some success.
Right. I could definitely tell you cared about the whole situation in general because you're like, man, I don't care if you get the job, whatever. I care about the kids and
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and whatever's going to be best for them moving forward, man. So I think your whole mentality about it was great. That you from Jump Street care about the kid. What are you the J Dubs coach? So if you're talking to a player, you talking to a parent, what are you telling them are the key attributes to being part of the program?
It starts at a young age, but you got to be coachable. You got to be willing to listen. So like even your school days thing, kids out there playing, you having fun. I think what you're doing is wonderful because a lot of kids get to gel with each other, get to meet people that you don't probably get to play with like that, and you build that bond. But that's how we grew up, playing amongst each other, pushing each other. So I think what you're doing is great. But the biggest thing is parents and players have to understand at a varsity level. I might have known you since you was 6 years old, but it's 8 minute quarters. So if you're not putting work in the summer, you're not grinding, I can't trust you, you can't play. That's just being real though, Keith. And I think a lot of people, and I always tell parents this, AAU, you pay all this money for shoes, traveling, hotel room, and your kid can't afford to sleep in and play 2K to 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. So now is it a business or what we doing? So
Mm-hmm.
that's my biggest thing though, Keith. They gotta treat this stuff like a business, man.
I mean, and here's the thing: the kids, whether athletically, academically, life period, they have to understand that they are the CEO. They are a business in general.
Yes.
So and so being coachable, listening, yeah, because a lot of parents, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, man. A lot of parents think that since their kid was good in third, fourth, fifth grade, that they still that same kid from elementary.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not that kid from elementary. You have to get stronger. You have to get better. You have to work like right now. I feel like we had a great season. I pushed the kids. They bought in. They did great. But I talked to all my kids. We all have something we have to come back next year better and stronger at. So
Mhm.
it's up to you if you're gonna put that work in. What you're gonna do? I'm gonna do my part. Is y'all
Right.
gonna do y'all part?
That's real. That's real, man. So what have you learned as a coach, as you know, first year varsity coach? What was like one of the biggest things or a few different things that you learned this past year from coaching?
I learned that if you're not in it for the right reasons, you're gonna have bad luck. Cause like my biggest thing is like I had to, and I say probably one of the highest team GPAs as far as grades around here. You know what I mean? But I'm connected with the teachers. The teachers know I'm there for them. My basketball players know I'm there with the teachers, and then just holding myself accountable and pushing them. 'Cause I can't push them if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and I think that's the biggest thing. You got to be all in because now we live in an era where, like, when me and you grew up, your coach could say, "Oh, you better do this." Okay, it's gonna get done. But now you live in an era where you got to show them everything. You got to be detailed. You got to explain everything to them. So you got to be hands on with them to get them to buy in. Man, you got to be hands on with them.
Was that a challenge for you? What was kind of like one of the biggest challenges for you this season?
I think the biggest thing is getting them prepared for the moment because and it probably in the same sense with you. So like I think the biggest thing is like we can't compare them to how we was or how good we was.
Yeah.
We gotta take baby steps. I think sometimes we expect so much out of them. Like I got a good group of kids, but I know they're lacking basketball IQ and basketball knowledge. Certain things I feel like you should know that you don't know. Okay, Skeet, calm yourself down, get back to the drawing board, explain it to them, and let's figure it out. So that's the biggest thing, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely understand that, man. So, what was your process? You know, you guys didn't lose very much this season, but what was your process after a loss?
After a loss, I always tell them, it's gonna get you better, but when we watch film, we got to be real detailed so we don't make the same mistakes. So that's my biggest thing. So we watched a lot of film this year and a lot of teams, and every team we played, we watched a lot of film. After practice, we watch a lot of film. But the biggest thing is being a true basketball player. Understanding the game is more than just putting the ball in the basket. You got to be real detailed. You got to be able to listen. You got to. It's the little things that's gonna get you far. Because like I always tell them, anybody could break one or two pencils, but it's hard for somebody to break 10 pencils. So if y'all stick together, y'all buy in, we good money, we okay. That's the biggest thing. Just buy in. Let's go.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So what was the? I mean, you know, we were all at the Sexton Waverly game.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, crazy energy in there. You know, a lot of people were there. Um, what was your like thought process going into it during the game? Like, what are you are you telling the are you hyping the kids up or are you telling the kids to calm down? Like, which one?
I'm turned up with them. But the thing is, hey, I'm happy you wasn't on that. I'm happy you wasn't on the bench coaching. That's the one thing I was happy about. You wasn't over there. I know how them kids love you at Waverly, but I the biggest thing keep I think the biggest thing I stress with them is the simple detail stuff. Like talk on defense together, rebound together, push the ball, do what you're supposed to do. Like everybody hold everybody accountable, man, and we gonna be fine. That was my biggest thing is trying to keep them calm, man, and just stick together, stick to the plan. That's the biggest thing, stick to the plan because I got a young team too. So just
Yeah.
stick to the plan and let's ride it out together. That's my biggest thing is making sure they stick together. When we play together like we're supposed to, we play very well.
Right. I think the thing is too is, you know, we're wrong, right? As coaches. Like we might feel like we might have the perfect game plan. And it could end up being the wrong game plan.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
we won't know that unless you 110% do it.
Yep.
Then we can so if it is wrong, then we can make the necessary tweaks.
Yep.
If you're not doing the game plan, if you're not bought in, we can't say for certain what went right, what went wrong.
And then another thing, is being a head coach. It's a lot that come with it because you could win 50 games straight. Oh, Keith, you're the man. Hey, man, you get that one loss, you got parents and everybody looking at
Hey,
you
you a
like, hey,
bum.
man, hey,
Hey,
you
you a
need to,
bum.
hey, maybe you need to tweak this. Man, listen, man, I went over that 100 times already. Not saying and Keith, I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't listen and take notes from people. That's what I always listen. But once you lose one game, or you might win every game by 20, you win by 2 points. Maybe you need to throw this in. Listen, I got it. We good.
That how yeah, how do you handle that then, I guess? Or how have you handled that? Because it could be, you know, me seeing you in Meyer and I'm like, hey man, yeah, maybe you should have pressed, or it could be a parent, or it could be a teacher, it could be how do you handle it from my interactions with you? You're real good at smiling, being respectful, and keeping it moving. Is that how
That's
you
how
handle it every single time for the most part?
Yeah, that's how I handle it. But me, the type of person, I might not let you know that I know you don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna fill you out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm gonna fill you out because certain people could text me certain things, and that'll let me know. Okay, you know what? I was thinking that, so you know what he said is right. I can tweak that a little bit, but certain people will say certain things. I'm like, man, you never coached at a high level. You don't know what's going on right now.
Hmm.
Why
Hmm.
would you think that would be cool to do that in that situation?
Yeah, man, it's such a tough man. I was just texting an assistant varsity coach the other day, and there are gratifying moments being a coach. Um, things that are not quantifiable. The joys, be unquantifiable wins by being a coach. Uh, but it's also thankless as well
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
as soon as there's a loss or even if there's a win, there's should have did this, should have did that, and we all have our opinions on things. Like I like say if I'm watching one of y'all games, I'm like, you know what, I might have would have took this player out, right?
Hmm.
However, you and your coaching staff, not just you guys, anybody,
Yeah. Yep.
like we seen this in practice this week. We seen he does this good. He does this specific thing well. This is what our
Yep.
thought process was with it. So it's a crapshoot, man. It's tough, and I don't even know how it feels to be you. I've been a head coach for freshmen. I've been assistant coach on every level. I do the school days right now, but that's not a varsity head coaching position that I have. And so no one really knows what that feels like until you're in that seat.
And you would be great too though, Keith, because you know the game in and out, and the kids rock with you. You know how to push them, and that's the biggest thing. Is just like I said, being consistent who you is, and knowing how to push them. And the key thing you said about practice, like my kids now, the kids that's coming back now, they know how Coach Skeet really is because you can show up to practice Monday and Tuesday like somebody made you come here. Guess what? I can't trust you to play.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're gonna give me.
that's real.
I don't know what you're gonna give me. So if you practice hard, you do what you're supposed to do. I got a spot for you. You can play. So it's just and the kids got to understand that because college coaches will come recruit you, sit at the dinner table with your mom, tell your mom how much they love you and all that. But when you get to that campus, you get to that university,
Oh,
you waste the talent. But you got to
yep,
be able to, you got to know how to handle that. You got to know how to
yep,
handle that.
that's real. Uh, so who is there any coaches that you talked to during the season that you like sought out? Or who are some of your coaching mentors like coming up that, whether you want to shout out and like say guys that maybe you did reach out to during the season?
I talk a lot to Coach Valentine. Even
Hmm.
though Coach B did football, he has just a brain for sports. I talk a lot to Coach B. And really during the season, them are two people that I talk to a lot. And
Hmm.
Alan Kane, which was on the state championship team with Coach Valentine, his son actually won 2 championships. Them are the people I talk to because it's you could just tell his basketball knowledge, man. Because like I say, some people you talk to, you'll be like, you really would do that in that situation. But I still feel you out and I still listen to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. The last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there. I seen a little bit. I was watching a little bit online. I was at a different game. Um, what was what was the learning lesson from that game? Was there, for you specifically, maybe as a coach,
What
or
I got out
was there anything that you would have done, like I said, did differently, or like you thought things were, fine how they were? What was kind of your thinking on
I
that?
think I could have did a couple things differently, but just due to how the game was getting called and stuff
Hmm.
like that, I had to make a couple adjustments. What I feel was the best at the time.
Hmm.
If I could do the game over with, would I do some things different? Yes, I would have. But now that I got the summer with the boys, I can get their brains to understand that no matter what, the plan is to go up by 20 in the first quarter.
Hmm.
Because you got to have that mindset. Playing a team 3 times, is that easy? Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like I could fight you 3 times. You could beat me up. The 2 times you beat me up, but that third time, that right hook, I'm dodging
Hey,
it now.
hey, yep,
You know
yep,
what I'm saying? So
yep.
I think the biggest thing from that game, man, is I got time to get their mindsets where it need to be. And I want to give a special shout out to the assistant coaches, man. Everybody did a great job this year, just being calm, being patient, and buying into the process. And I always say trust the process because I got a summer to really work on them and get their confidence where it need to be.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you to AB, the athletic director.
For
Just
sure.
y'all coaching staff. From what I could see, there was a certain chemistry, unity, togetherness, energy, just everything, man. It was when I forget my man's name. He the head football coach over at Waverly right now.
The
Jones.
DA. Yep.
Yeah. I remember watching them their first year on the sideline. I'm like, man, the way they over there teaching the kids and how they're
Oh
just
yeah.
super, like, they seem super in sync with each other, man. And I felt the same way about looking at you guys on the bench, man. Just seeing again that you guys were in sync with one another. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
moving in the same direction, and which is great for the kids to see.
Oh
So
yeah.
that, you guys are all pulling in the right direction.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Any parting thoughts about again the high school ball in general?
Um, so to any parent out there, I know all parents love their kids, but if you want the best for your kids playing sports, it ain't even just basketball. Make sure they putting that work in so they don't have a problem where the playing time is limited because they're not putting the work in. And to the kids out there, I always tell kids this. This is one of my favorite lines. Do you stress about tying your shoe? They always look at me like I'm stupid. They like, no, tying my shoe because you do it every day. Make it a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a habit. Make it so when you wake up every day, just make sure you know what's going on because the having a relationship with the basketball, you're gonna miss a lot of shots if you don't have a relationship with it. You got to get to know the ball. You got to know when your release is. You got to know what you got to do out there. And that's my biggest thing, man. Treat it like a business. Don't do it because you like it. Treat it like a business, and you'll be fine. That's the best message I give to kids. And to all the parents, one more thing: when your kid is young, the simple things is always going to be needed in life when they playing basketball. You have to make sure they get the simple things down, how to play correctly. Because you're going to come across somebody fast as you, stronger than you, quicker than you, could jump higher than you. So now it come down to skill set. What can you do?
And that kind of go back to what we talked about earlier, because in certain situations, somebody in middle school where they taller, they faster, stronger, they dominating,
Yeah.
but they were dominating on the physical,
Yeah.
not the skill.
Yes, sir.
So now when they sophomore, junior, senior, if they didn't develop the, necessary skill set, they not what they was. Where the other
They,
kid that just kept grinding, kept putting in the work, they the one
yep.
that, they caught up or similar in height now, but they got the ball handling, or they got the shooting, they got the footwork,
For
things like
sure.
that, man. So no, that goes like you said, man,
Yep.
it becoming a habit, and again just really developing the fundamentals and the skill set to have a decent career to be on a team.
To be on a team, and Coach K said it best. Coach K said, I've been doing this for years. The most talented people don't make it to the NBA. The most disciplined person do.
Hey, that's real. That's real.
So that's real.
Hey, we can end on that, man. We can end on
Yep.
that, man. So,
Sure.
hey, dog, I appreciate you, man. Y'all,